what's going on? We are here with Quantic Dream's David Cage. David, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing great.
Got you just fresh off the plane from Paris. Got you nice and jet lagged.
Absolutely, totally jet lagged.
Great. Well, let's start asking you a lot of hard questions about Heavy Rain. You ready for it?
Yep.
All right. So the game is out now, and it was a long time coming. There was a lot of anticipation for Heavy Rain. Now that it's out there, how do you feel about the experience that you've delivered and kind of the response that you've gotten from the public?
I start to feel relieved because, we talked about this game for 2 years, and when you talk for so long about something, you're always nervous about when you release it, the fact that people understand what you're trying to achieve and find the connection between what you said and what the game is really about. So we're really happy because the game reviewed very well, but also very few people thought the game would sell.
Yeah.
And actually the game sells.
So you guys really didn't think, you had no idea, like, when you put this on shelves, if people were going to react to this?
Well, we read so many times people writing great reviews about the game and just saying, too bad it won't sell. But we were also talking to a VP, at Sony, who were saying, he was answering interviews, and everybody was saying, wow, what a great game Heavy Rain was. But before the game was released, everybody was saying, too bad it won't sell. And it was such a strange thing, because the game was different, because it was original and innovative. It would not be able to sell. That was really a strange thing to say, because being different is not an issue. It's usually an advantage in most industries, where in the game industry it seems to be an issue.
So what is it that drives Quantic Dream, and what drives you to make these specific kind of experiences? Because Quantic Dream arguably is making a style of game that borrows elements from existing genres, but there's really nothing else quite like it out there.
Well, what drives my work is really the will to create emotion, and a wide palette of emotion, not just adrenaline and stress and tension, but really explore what it takes to create the kind of emotions that you find in movies or in theater or in TV series, or in literature. What does it take to get these emotions in a video game? And what excites me the most is probably this feeling of being a pioneer, trying to explore things that very few people tried to explore before. If you want to be a movie maker, it's really difficult to create something original, because there are so many incredible talents out there, and the industry is 100 years old. So many great movies have been made. But when you're a game developer, this is a very new and young medium, and there's so much to do and to discover. So it's like being in front of a brand new land and just going there and trying to explore and find new things.
Do you have any desire to explore other mediums beyond kind of the interactive arena?
With the Heavy Rain, I feel like I'm done. I've said what I had to say about this story and these characters, and this is why there won't be a sequel, and this is why I hope there will be a movie about the game, but I don't think I will be personally totally involved in this, and I don't think I'm going to direct it or write it or whatever. I need to move on. I need to tell other stories, and I take a lot of time to make games. It's each time it's 4 years of my life. So I'm 40 years old now. How many stories am I still able to tell before I really get too old? So I need to move on, and I want to tell other stories, other characters, and try to continue to learn again and again. There's much more to discover, and this is really why I want to move on.
So clearly you've got some ideas in your head for what's next, but for Quantic Dream specifically, the next thing is going to be some DLC packages for Heavy Rain. You talk just a little bit about what the nature of these chronicles are going to be.
Well, we're still thinking about this, so it's still in the process, and we have released the Taxidermist. That is the first DLC, and there's really nothing we want to announce at this stage regarding other DLCs.
Going forward, like Omicron 2, any sort of hints at where Quantic Dream and David Cage might be going in the future?
We want to surprise players and maybe come back with something they didn't expect. Of course, we're not going to make a tennis game or a football game next, but...
but what if you did? I want to see David Cage's kart racer. Let's talk about it. Who's going to be in that?
Oh, well...
We have an alcoholic, amnesiac private detective, and we have this family man who's has latent supernatural powers, and that's who he's able to throw blue shells at the lead racer. What do you think?
So you read my game design. How did you know? In fact, we want to continue to explore emotions for an adult audience. This is really what we're going to do in the future, but we're going to... I think I'm done with thrillers. I've explored this genre in Indigo Prophecy, now in Heavy Rain, and it was a very convenient, environment to tell a story because it's a very well-known genre. So and well established, so it was really easy for me to write a story in this environment. But now I would like to write probably more personal things, and start to get rid of the influences and all the things that will influence me in the past, and try to write something more personal. I needed to write something based really with influences, just because I'm learning the language to tell a story, and you cannot do everything at the same time, write something totally unique and at the same time invent a new language and at the same time create a format. You need to progress step by step. So now I think I have this language from what I learned from Heavy Rain, and I can use it to tell very different types of stories. And we are also very interested by online. We strongly believe in online at Quantic, and this is definitely something we're going to explore.
A lot of talk, especially at GDC, about the Natal and Sony's motion controller project. Is there any interest for you and for Quantic Dream in exploring these kind of unconventional control mechanics?
The very first version of the game design of Heavy Rain was based on motion control. Actually, we wanted to have we designed actually a controller for Heavy Rain that was back for 4 years ago.
That's bold.
Yeah, definitely. And all the first iteration of the interface was based on motion. So we wanted the player to open the doors and really to do the moves and make movement part of the immersion in the game. So I think in the final game, although it uses DualShock, something remains of this interest for motion in general in the interface. By the way, we use the 6-axis, we use the sticks, and we use the controller in general.
Do you see a future where Quantic Dream kind of explores, a style of storytelling that's, maybe more dramatic, maybe a horror, just some other sort of genre?
With Heavy Rain, when you look at what the game does, it's more than just a game designed to tell the story. It's a format. Basically, you can use the bricks and the words of this language and use them to tell any type of story. Using the same interface, tomorrow we can make a musical comedy if we want, or we could do a tragedy, or we could do a cartoon. We could do pretty much anything because all the interface is contextual. You
could even be, say, a French game designer that is famous for singing The Girl from Ipanema in Portuguese.
Definitely, yeah.
I'm going to end on that, David. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.